Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Impossible to Say. My name is Emily Proctor.
And my name is Kat Wellington. Welcome back to another week. It's a beautiful week. Emily, how are
Yay!
you?
I'm, you know, I'm doing well. The family Christmas festivities have kicked off officially
Really?
on my side of town. Yep, I got to spend Thanksgiving at my aunt's and then go back 2 weeks later to do Christmas there as well.
Hell
Um,
yes.
Yeah, so that was great. No, it was fine. I really can't complain. Obviously, I was ass hungover again. My family probably thinks I have a drinking problem, but it was fine. So,
Yeah,
is what
my
it
family's
is.
currently in the process of, and for our divorced parents, listeners, of planning the schedule of like where we're going to be
Mm,
where,
mhm.
which is totally necessary because we don't have cars. Like, I mean, we'll have Connor's car. But just like I won't have a car, so I can't just like bop around.
Yeah.
But it's also just like so stressful.
That's like honestly one great thing about having a parent in the fire department. Like my dad works on Christmas, so it just makes it so
Yeah.
easy. So
Yeah,
lucky.
that's great. And this year I'm also like, because I'm used to packing my shit up like almost every night and moving
Mhm.
houses and like there's lunch somewhere, dinner somewhere else. Like I'm used to that, but I'm bringing Miles home with me, which I'm sure I've said. And he's just like not used to having family obligations at all. He just has a small family and they're very like chill and they're just like, yeah, come to what you want, don't come to what you don't want. Like, and I'm like,
Oh my
that's
god.
just like,
It's
I don't know
the
how
opposite.
he's going to survive it, to be honest. And he's being really sweet
It's
about it. He's like, I'm not gonna add any extra stress. Like I'm just like along for the ride and it'll be great. So I'm like honestly happy to have him for emotional support, but I do just like
yeah.
also feel horrible. And it's a lot because
Wait,
he hasn't met everyone.
well, I'm just realizing when your mom was there, what, a month or 2 ago, was that her first time meeting Miles?
Yeah, so my mom's the only one who's met him.
Yeah.
We did dinner with him twice.
Mhm.
And you and Alicia and Meredith are the only ones who have met him.
Right.
And it'll be fine, but it's just like social overload for him. So it's a lot. Because like
Well,
I went on vacation with his family, but it
mhm.
was just like a very relaxed scenario. This is just not because of my family, just because
Yeah.
it's the holidays. So
Right. No,
should
I
be
completely
interesting.
understand.
I'll keep you guys updated.
I feel like Purple Patio, I know we already talked about it last week, like, I think every person I have ever met from every walk in my life will be there.
I
So
know.
that'll be really fun for Miles.
Yeah. And that I'm not worried. Like that'll be totally fun. I can't believe I get to see you this week.
I know. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It came up so quickly.
It's like a double Christmas in a way.
Yeah, I really am excited because I really feel like everyone's gonna be there. It's gonna be so fun. That'll be a good way to ease into the week, giving me a good hangover for the next day, which will be family fun packed. And that's just how it goes
Absolutely.
these days. So,
Yeah, 100%. I've got, my office Christmas party this week, so that'll be
oh, I'm sure you'll
fun.
have stories about that. Everyone's kind of
100%.
been reporting some serious off. Like I've had a lot of people message me being like, I don't remember I don't remember anything past an hour of my office Christmas party. And
There's just something about, like, especially and I'm sure that this is not the first time that these words have come out of my mouth, but, like, there's something about like, especially, like, you're having your office Christmas party, like, in your office, because that's what we do, and I know a lot of places do that too, like, it hits 5 o'clock, and then next thing you know, you have a vodka soda in your hand. So, like, I don't know, it's just, like, you just get 10 times more drunk and faster too, like, you can't control it, it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do.
yeah, there's something in the air at an office holiday party.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get so drunk. And I don't know if that's because you're like with your coworkers and you have to drink to kind of ease the tension, but like it's gonna happen every time. And honestly, everyone embarrasses themselves. So you're fine, is what I'm trying to
Last
say.
year last year, I took a keg to make everyone feel better. I took a keg of Fireball to my face, and when I say, like, to my face, like, my coworker's wife was doing the faucet, and, like, it went all over me to the point where I smelled like Fireball for the rest of the party, and then I fell asleep. I went back to my coworker's house, fell asleep in her parents' home. This is Doug's parents' home for context. Woke up in my dress in my same sweater that reeked of Fireball. It was so disgusting. I'm not touching any Fireball at this party this year. That is for damn sure.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad. That's really
Yeah,
not bad.
it's completely
But
fine. There was worse
but
things. We had a karaoke machine last year, so, like, it'll be
yeah.
fine.
And I'm, like, speaking about this as if I really have experience with it because my one office I mean, I had 2 jobs, but one was remote, but my one office job was the holiday party was canceled because of COVID, so
Easier.
yay.
You're not
But I'm
missing much.
I might be back in an office soon, y'all, so let's stay tuned to see what we're gonna do.
So, like, yeah, what are you
What am I
thinking?
gonna do?
Yeah, what are you feeling?
I don't know. I just told Emily it's so weird because everyone's like acting like it's not like the TikTok. I'm talking about the TikTok ban, obviously. Everyone's acting like it's not gonna happen. Like my management, not acting like it's not gonna happen, but they're like
Mhm.
not anticipating it. And the business world is kind of moving forward as normal. Like I just got
Yeah.
a deal for 2025 for multiple TikToks. So it's like uh brands are kind of like there's some things in contracts that are like if it does happen we'll move to this platform or if it does happen we'll change the deliverables whatever, but for the most
Yeah.
part like everything is proceeding as normal, which is like a good sign to me, but also I really don't know. I've spent the past couple years every time this has happened. It's funny because like this happened in 2020 and Brooke Connor and
Mhm.
I like called each other crying, which is so funny, like drunkenly crying. And like nothing happened. And then since
Yeah.
then, I haven't really given any energy to it because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? There's nothing I can do. Like every time I'm home, my grandparents are like, what are you gonna do if TikTok gets banned? And I'm like, well, they're watching Fox News, obviously. And I'm like, I'll
Mhm.
get a job. I'll get a job. It's fine. But like, there's nothing I can personally do. So I've never put my
Yeah.
energy into it. But this time does seem more real because we're actually like seeing the process happen. And
Yeah,
like
I
the
guess
appeal was just denied.
mhm. Yeah, so I was thinking I haven't been reading that much about it, but what it gets so say it gets banned in January, and then it's banned from January to whenever the Supreme Court rules on it, early spring, summer. And then who knows, maybe it'll come back, maybe someone will buy it within that time. But I mean, like, there are so many, I feel like, similar platforms. Like, you start posting on Reels. I know you made a post about that. Like, my ass is gonna be scrolling on Instagram Reels the second TikTok gets banned. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I will be posting on Reels and I'm sure I'll make like some money from that. I just don't know if it'll be like
it's not the
livable
same.
necessarily because
Yeah,
I have 500,000 more followers on TikTok, which
TikTok.
is crazy.
Yeah.
And my parents are like, "Well, they'll just all go over to Instagram." I'm like, "That's like it's not a great migration of people." Like I mean, a few people, like a handful of people will be like, "Oh,
Right.
I like this girl. Like let me head on over there and make sure I keep up with her." But like for the most part, our brains are wired to just like they'll just forget. And that's like
Mhm.
so normal and fine. Like there's going to be plenty of people on TikTok that I'm just like and it happened with Vine where now I'll see someone I'll be like, "Oh, I remember them." But like they're not my day-to-day thought process. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what will just happen. I'll post on Reels, maybe gain like a new following, but it'll just be kind of like starting over almost.
I mean, I guess it's like I know you said, like, TikTok is the easiest job in the world, but it's gonna be kinda cool that you're gonna if it does get banned, get to decide to do whatever you want to a certain extent.
Hell yeah. And you know, I've been saying I'm deciding this whole time and just like haven't figured it out. So,
Well, this'll apply some pressure.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we got the pod, y'all. So you guys will still hear from me. I'll be
Oh, yeah,
here.
this is my main source of income, so it's really livable for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
100%. Anyway, yeah, I'll figure it out. It really is like it sucks and it's really sad, but I'll figure it out. Who knows what I'm gonna
Your
do?
your post did make me, like, super emotional and I know it made others emotional too, but obviously because you're my best friend, but, like, it is such a like, fuck the data. Like, what about
I
all the
know.
people on there? It's so
I
annoying.
yeah, and I'm not someone who like normally I kind of just go through life and I'm like, oh, this is, I'm just here now. And this is, but I
Mhm.
like looking back, like everything that app has given me, which
Yeah.
again, like it really isn't that app. It's like the people who have chosen to follow me and the people that I've met in real life. So it's just like, it's insane how much it changed my life, truly.
Yeah. It is
But
crazy. Well, anyways, here's to hoping that it stays.
just hoping and
Um,
praying.
yeah, I'm so excited or I'm so bummed. I really wanted to continue talking about Love Island, especially after movie night on this episode, but I have a confession and please don't get mad at me. I have not watched a single episode since last week and I
Oh
feel sick about
no.
it. I
I'm
know.
completely caught up. I watched the movie night, everything. I will say the most insane thing I've ever, and it's like not in a positive, entertaining way, but the most insane thing happened on a movie night that I've ever seen.
Oh no. Oh, I'm nervous. What can
It,
you by chance remember the number, like the episode number that movie night's on so I know how much I need to catch up to?
I don't know. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
that's fine.
Um, and then like also again, I just try to recap for the people who don't watch Love Island. Just movie night is basically where they play clips from throughout the show that like obviously they haven't seen because they are the show. Of like people talking shit about people or like things they did that their partner doesn't know about. So it just kind of like reveals a whole new thing to them and they can kind of like see a bigger picture. And this one in particular, like I'm just gonna say it has to do with like sexual acts
Oh
and to
no.
the point where what was said had to be bleeped in full, at least on Hulu, I believe. Yeah, Hulu. And I did
Oh
have
my
to
god,
go
I'm gonna
on
have to try to
Reddit to like
yep.
see, and you
Just about
can
to
see it
say.
in, I guess you can see it in the subtitles if you have subtitles on, but it's just like, it's a really fucked up situation, honestly. It made me feel like really uneasy.
Well, I wanted to at least bring it up a little bit because there were girls freaking out in the Facebook group about it. So I wanted them to know that
Okay.
I'll get there eventually, just not right now. I had like one of the busiest weeks of my entire life last week. I went to New York for a day with my
Yeah, I haven't even
mom,
heard about that.
which
Was
was
it fun?
yeah, it was a blast. I don't think I'll ever do a day trip again.
Day trips
Let
are
me
exhausting, but
let
fun.
me paint the scene, the picture for you guys. So my
Okay.
mom texted me a couple months ago and was like, "Hey, do you want to do a day trip to New York on December 11th?" I was like, "Random date. That's a Tuesday, but sure, I'm down." And
Hmm.
she was like, "Okay, great. Like I paid for our bus seats. Like it's a private chartered bus with like friends of friends." I'm like, "Okay, great, perfect." Um, I had not one fucking clue that we had to get on the bus at 6 AM. I'm
Hmm.
ripping jello shots by 6:30 in the morning. These women, mind you, they're all I mean, the youngest I was definitely the youngest, but, like, average age, probably 50 years old,
Okay.
maybe 45. They could outdrink, like, freshmen in college. These women, mimosas, sangria, it's literally not even 8 AM, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm kind of fucking tipsy." It
Yeah.
was an insane bus ride. We're playing games, we're, like, gambling on, like, these reindeer races. All the reindeers are, like, either super jacked or super slutty, like, these signs that we had to hold. It was the most insane bus ride I have ever been on in my entire life. Women were, like, so drunk. We're stopping at rest stops. Women are outside chain smoking cigs. I mean, it was beautiful, truly beautiful. Part of it, I was like, "Okay, I'm terrified to get older because I can't be like this," but also I'm like, "Wait, they're having so much fun. Like, this is amazing."
Yeah. No, that sounds exactly like how we'd want to be.
Yeah, I mean, once we got to the city, we were able to, like, go our separate ways, which was nice. But yeah, it was
I
good. We
feel
got
like
to
my only problem with that is I feel like I'd be fucking exhausted by the time I got there.
oh my god, I mean, yeah, the bus on the way there took, like, 5 hours. I mean, we got on the bus at 6, we didn't get off the bus till 11, so it was
I've
so
done the
long.
bus to New York and it's like it's just way longer than you. You're like, yeah, let me just get on this bus and it's just more than you think,
No,
kind of.
it was not ideal. We saw all the sights. It was just, like, one of those trips where you, like, walk, clock, walk to the next, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Christmas stuff.
Mhm, yeah, so that was good. That was fine.
Did you sleep on the way home at least on the bus?
Yeah, I was, like, in and out of sleep. We actually they put on 2 movies. I was so worried that they were gonna wanna keep drinking, and I was like, "I can't. I gotta work
Yeah.
tomorrow. I gotta drive home from, where we met up with all the cars." I was like, "I can't do this." We watched Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if you've seen
Mhm.
that. I'm not, like, a big
Yeah.
rom-com person, so I had never
I
seen that
love
one.
rom-coms. I like that one, the one where he's
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah, it was cute. And then we watched Love Actually, which I have not seen in a really long time, so that one was nice because that's such a good one.
I love Love Actually. I saw there was a thread in the Facebook group about someone posted, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it's so funny. Someone posted and was I think this is what it was. They said like, "I watched Love Actually and I like didn't really like it. Like, what do I do?" And I'm like, "You guys, you're allowed to just not like something. Like, you
It's
can
like
watch Emily didn't like Just Friends. I like it. Like,
yeah.
it's okay."
I it's so crazy, like, to me, like, rom-coms, like, aren't my, like, go-to movie of choice, like, I don't think I'm ever gonna sit down and be like, "Let me watch a rom-com," unless it's, like, came out recently, I guess, like, I really wanted to see that one with Jennifer Lawrence, I never got a chance to see that one. You know which one I'm talking about?
No hard feelings. It's on
Yes.
Netflix.
Yeah, I know, I really wanna watch it, I just haven't gotten around to it. But I'm not gonna, like, sit down and watch, like, a rom-com from, like, the early 2000s, and that's, like, Thomas, our friend Tom our friend Thomas.
Yeah, I do. I sure do.
That's, like, his, like, favorite thing to do, and we were talking about it over the weekend. I guess he watches Four Christmases every Christmas, which is
Four
crazy to me.
Christmases is not a rom-com.
Okay, well, in my eyes, it, like, is.
I watch Four Christmases every year,
I don't know
and
anything about the movie. I just assumed.
it's a
I
comedy.
Okay. Is there
It's
romance in it?
like it's about a
Mm,
couple, like, going to different Christmases in their family,
yeah, so it's a
but it's, like,
rom-com.
funny. It's, like, Vince Vaughn, who is the I can't
Vince Vaughn's only in rom-coms.
Kristen Chenoweth is in it, she's hilarious in it.
Oh, I had no idea.
Now you might be watching, huh?
Yeah, maybe. I just might.
Yeah, no, that one's actually really good. I always forget the dad's name is really funny. I always forget his name, the dad from Kicking and Screaming. He's, like, super famous.
Oh, the the
Maybe Rob
coach?
or yeah,
Like,
but, like,
the
the old
famous
Will
football
Ferrell's
coach?
dad. No, no, not Mike
Oh,
Ditka.
might t perfect.
The only reason I know the Bears coach is obviously from Kicking and Screaming.
Naturally.
Kicking and Screaming, I
Perfect.
used to always say is my favorite movie, but now it's
It's a good
Little
one.
Women. But I think
Oh,
it's my
yeah.
favorite, like, comedy.
I think
Um,
off the dome, my favorite movie is Interstellar, which leads me to say, like, during Christmas time, I wanna watch, like, Harry Potter, you know?
yeah, no,
I think
I
those
totally get that.
yeah.
I do wanna tell you what happened to me this morning, just because I
Mhm.
think it's funny, but it's also
Yeah.
horrible.
Okay.
Obviously, I had to go get blood work done this morning, and, I have, like, a
Mhm.
complicated relationship with that.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm getting my blood
Oh my god, I'm
drawn.
so nervous.
It's just, like it's normal, so I pass out, but normally I can just, like, lose consciousness, but, like, no,
Mhm.
I'm still there. I
Mhm.
passed out so bad that I was having, like, these okay, first of all, the blood stops coming, and
Oh
she's
my
like, "I don't
god.
know why the blood stopped," and she's like, "Sorry, you guys," but she's, like, moving it around, you know? So she's like, "The blood stopped, like, are you, like, lightheaded at all?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, like, now that you mention it, like, yeah." Before I knew it, completely passed out. I was having insane visions. I woke up, had no fucking clue where I was. Pissing my pants. I peed my pants
Cat!
completely
Oh my god.
in light blue sweatpants. I peed in the entire chair, passed
I'm
out.
sure that's normal. I'm sure that's very normal.
I'm sure it is. And guess what? I didn't even say anything about that. I just wiped it up with my pants.
Wait,
I'm
was no one was
sorry.
in the room with you?
Like, she didn't notice that I had peed.
Oh, okay. I thought okay. All right.
No,
That's
she
fine.
she said that she told me I might have some bruising on my chest because she held me up to not fall. Like I was falling forward. Like
Oh my
I dropped all my
god.
shit on the ground that I was holding in my hands, and I woke up to like the alcohol wipe in my nose. But it was so weird because when I woke up, I like had no clue what was going on. And it took me like a solid like couple of minutes to be like, okay, this is what happened. And she said she like couldn't find my pulse for a while. So I was like,
I'm sorry,
"Hey."
I shouldn't be I shouldn't be laughing.
No, it's completely funny. I passed out and pissed my pants. The worst part is I had to get more blood taken.
But they didn't get enough?
No. God,
So,
no.
what'd they do? Just stick did they stick it right back in?
No, I had to be moved to another room in like a lay down bed because okay, I had already gone recently and I was fine. So normally I'm like heads up, I pass out, which I should have done anyway. I totally realized that. But like
Yeah.
the last time I went, I was totally fine. Like didn't even get lightheaded. So I was like I can do this. And I wasn't like
Mhm.
even worried. I think it was just when it stopped and then she was moving it around that made me really a little wheezy or a little
Mhm.
woozy. I'm sorry. Um
Wheezy and
Wheezy,
woozy.
Wheezy X Woozy. Anyway, so she had to move me to another room and she was like, we have to like talk you through this one because that's what we did last time. She is the same lady. She like talked me through the entire like not through the process, but was just talking
Mhm.
to me. So we had to talk about cheddar the whole time for me not to pass out.
Oh, that's really sweet of her to do.
Yeah, because I had a cat on my shirt. So she was like, "Do you have a cat?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I actually do." But this time I was laying down, so it wouldn't have been as bad. But I mean, I've never experienced one quite like that.
How yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty bad one. How long did she say how long you were, like, out cold for?
I have no idea. No, she
Could you
didn't say.
oh my god, I mean, I guess, like, there's no better place I mean, you're at a doctor's office, so no better place, I guess, than to pass out there, maybe?
Yeah, and something about a lab corp, by the way, like
Oh
there's
my
always a
god,
long
yeah.
line of people waiting. So
Yeah.
obviously I'm like completely unconscious and I just can't stop apologizing. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like I know I was like, I know you're busy. Like please like go deal with them and I'm so sorry. And she's like, they're gonna be fine. Like we're gonna take a second with you. And
Oh,
like
sounds like she was such a lovely person,
she
though.
she really is, and she was lovely the last time, and she's really funny too. But obviously this woman before me, I don't know if this is the correct etiquette. I'm going really far into this story for no fucking reason, but the woman like walked into the building before me, and this is at 8 a.m. also, so I like died before 9 a.m. today. Um,
Perfect.
this is the woman walked in before me, like walked into the building and then like got in the elevator before me. We were going to the same place. So then I walked in before her, but I was like, "You were ahead of me. You can go." Obviously this
Mhm.
woman like she was from somewhere in Europe and she didn't bring her insurance card and she's like, "I just always forget it. I don't even think about it." Like and I
Oh
was like
my
and the
god.
lady was like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Like I can't there's nothing for me to bill it to." And she was like, "Well, she's freaking out because she can't find her insurance card. Her husband's not answering the phone and she has to get her blood work done in order to like fly back home for the holidays or something." So I'm helping this woman look through her phone, like how like search card to see if she has it on her phone.
Oh my
Like I showed her
god.
like the iPhone feature of like searching in your gallery, you know.
Right, right, yeah.
She didn't have it. She's like calling out these other people. Um, Oh, and then she starts like she's getting upset because she's like nowhere else but the US would like be more focused on the billing than the actual medical work. And I was like, I agree with you, sister. I don't even know why like I don't know why I get myself involved. I just like feel like I have to help like it's just the three of us and I'm like, okay, like what can I do?
Right.
But like so anyway, like I went before her, so I'm like saying sorry and I'm like go do that woman. Like go take care of that woman.
Oh my god, this sounds actually fucking insane. I cannot
Yeah.
believe that.
So anyway, I
So,
can't go alone anymore, I don't think.
yeah, it's about time. I mean, this is like the 4th or 5th time you've passed,
Yeah,
so
but normally passing when I say passing out, like I lose vision, but like I
mhm.
don't like fall to the ground and like come back a couple minutes later. Or sometimes I'll just like in the chair like come back, but this was just
Mhm.
like no clue. And I was having the most insane visions that I like couldn't piece together. I can't really remember them. I just remember not being able to understand them. And
Oh my
something with like bunny
god.
rabbits or something. And
Oh,
then so when I came to, I was like still trying to piece together what had just happened while I died.
and you have to get blood drawn quite frequently now, right?
I don't know anymore because well, there's something wrong with my liver levels on the last ones. We're checking that, and then hopefully they're fine, and I'm done.
Okay, perfect. Love that. Well, I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, me too, but I really thought it was just really funny because I pissed my pants and
Did
I
you
was in my light blue Mad Happy pants. Like, it's just a massive circle.
well, I
Obviously, I
was
had my Lana Del Rey hoodie to tie around my waist to walk to my car because my car was like a mile away.
it's like the equivalent of, like, getting your period in school.
It's just like, luckily I was kind of in a part of LA where I could walk around with like pissed pants,
Well,
but
that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, did you at least have, like, a sweatshirt that was long enough to, like, cover it? But that worked out, I guess.
yeah, something in me told me to grab my Lana Del Rey zip up on the way out. I didn't think it was gonna be that,
The fo
but
the forethought. Oh my god, Kat, I'm so fucking sorry, but that's hilarious.
no, I know. Like, truly insane. And then like I just couldn't believe I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it again. So thank God we talked about cheddar.
Well, she's a pro. She's a wizard.
She really is. And everyone got taken care of. The woman got taken care of. I think
Oh,
someone
thank
found her
God.
insurance. So
Literally just pay up front. No, I'm kidding. It would be, like, thousands of dollars,
well, that's what she
obviously.
said. She was like, I mean, I can just like bill you in cash, but this is like a really expensive like panel. And the woman was just
Yeah.
like, she wasn't rude, but she was just like pissed. Like if she was a bitch, I would have just been like, no, I'm not helping you. But
Yeah.
she was just kind of didn't really know what she was doing. So
Mm.
yeah,
Goddamn. Perfect.
a lot going on this morning at the Lab Corp in Santa Monica.
Oh my god, I cannot believe you had to go through that. I was trying to remember what else I did last week, not to quickly move on from
Mm-mm.
your pissing and passing out
Please
story.
move on.
I saw Suki last week. I was trying to remember what the
Oh
hell I did.
yeah. How was it?
Um, it was good. I kinda got, like, pretty drunk, but it's fine. I mean, it's my 3rd time seeing her, so it wasn't, like, the
Mm-hmm.
first time where I, like, needed to really, like, be
Clock
paying
in.
attention to everything, which honestly was, like, nice because you know how I am at concerts, like, I get pissed when people are speaking near me
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, which is normal concert etiquette, but we saw her at the anthem, and we were, like, kind of in the back, which was nice. We were just, like, dancing, having fun. I mean, I was hungover the next day, like, I was incapacitated, had to do my year-end review completely hungover,
Yeah.
which was great, but I, like, love the way that she dresses, and her set
Me
was
too.
so sick, like, she's a goddess. Well, should we move on, I think?
Yeah, but
Probably?
before we go into stories, I wanted to ask if you'd seen anything about like the Brie and Grace Barstool drama because I feel like you're pretty off the grid with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've, like, read a few Reddit posts, and I've seen a few, like, TikToks that people have made kinda, like, summarizing the drama, and actually, I've seen a good bit. I've
Yeah, I'm
seen
like,
some
okay, so the summaries, the Reddit.
I've seen some clips from Grace's stand-up of her talking about it. She made the
Yeah.
whole, like, divorce parent joke, which I thought was really funny. I guess I didn't realize that it was really real until Grace made that. Like, I thought it was just, like, a bunch of speculation, a bunch of hearsay, and, like, I cannot fucking believe it. Like, the podcast Best Friends, it's not looking good for us, Kat. Like
No, I know. Well, that's the only reason I wanted to talk about it with you on here is because like
Mhm.
it truly is the situation of like if this podcast was much more successful, like
Yeah.
Brianna, like I'm not saying this about you, but like brought her friend into Barstool, like and she
No,
kind of
literally, though.
but then okay, here's my only thing. I feel like you missed out on a big part of it because it's always been like hearsay, but obviously some
Mhm.
truth to it. And I think for a long time, like people started to speculate and they were just like, that's not true, but kind of knowing there's like truth to it as well. So
Mhm.
anyway, I think did you know what happened where like Brianna posted like new version of Plan Brie coming in 2025?
I thought she said something like how she was like, "I've put so much, like, work into this project, started it in my dorm room, and I'd hate to see, like I don't wanna give that up and, like, leave you guys hanging." So, like, I knew that something was happening, I just didn't know what. So is it just her? Is it a solo?
No, so basically what happened was Grace and Brianna knew that Plan Brie was over for a long time, like months,
Mhm.
like, and they were having meetings of like how to announce it, and they
Yeah.
were gonna put out like a video. But then, before Grace could say anything, Brianna posted something that it didn't exactly say like Plan Brie is over, but she posted like the wrapped of, or sorry, not the wrapped. I think Spotify like recognized them for something.
Mhm.
And she posted and was like working on a new version of Plan Brie for you guys, something like that. So then Grace felt like super blindsided by that, which like everyone was kind of saying Brianna like Zach Bryan'd her a little. Like she
Yeah.
posted like they decided they weren't going to say anything and then she said something, which I think Grace saw it and was like pissed off, but I don't think it necessarily told everyone like Plan Brie's over, you
Yeah.
know? But in her
Mhm.
mind, that's what she saw. So then she posted I don't know if it was 3 or 4 page note thing of just being like, I'm blindsided by this, just saying like, but then of course people like misunderstood her saying blindsided by being like, I'm blindsided by that the podcast is going
Is
away.
ending, right, yeah.
Yeah. But she was saying like she was blindsided by her speaking about it before she could speak about it. And then she just kind of went into it a little bit and was like, I've bit my tongue more in this ear that she said like I shouldn't even have a tongue anymore. Just like yeah. So then but then what happens is that turns into Brie doing everyone's calling I don't think she ever said it was a tell all, but like that is like really what it was. She does a full tell all on
Mhm.
BFFs. You didn't see any clips from that?
No, I only saw clips, from her on Alex Earl's podcast talking about Zach
Oh yeah,
Bryan, and
yeah.
people were stitching it, talking about how she did the same exact shit to Grace, which
Yeah,
was brutal.
and I will say I did watch the BFFs and I was like thinking about you and I was like, God forbid if something like if we were in this situation, if something ever happened where like something horrible happened with us and we weren't friends anymore, I just
Yeah.
like would really fucking hope that no one would do like a tell all. Like that just seems like really because it's like all the bullshit aside, like all the barstool,
Yeah.
the listeners like having their input, like the hate, whatever. Like I just feel like that's so they've been friends since they were babies.
I know, and that's why, cause like, with Alex and Sophia, cause obviously they're the other podcast bestie breakup that we have to compare to, I don't know how long they were friends before they started the
Yeah, they weren't.
podcast.
It was like a year maybe.
Yeah, and, like, Grace and Brie, I think, are, like, extremely similar to us despite podcast size.
Right.
Because like, you obviously social media influencer bringing your best friend
Hmm.
onto the pod too and kind of giving me, like, a bit of a platform. I just, like, can't imagine going through a breakup like that, like, regardless of whatever happened between us, like, that publicly on the internet and then going on a podcast to talk shit about you. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. It's
I
crazy.
know. It's really sad. And then even like I didn't really love like everything she said with she led with like I gave her everything. I she like had nothing when she came with me. And it like I like both of them. I think whatever, but I do
Yeah.
think it's tough to be like I don't know, expecting something in return for the things
I
you're
just feel like
doing.
it's your best friend, like, it's not some, like, random person.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a
S-
lifelong best friend, like, wouldn't you want to help them out in any way that
e-
you possibly can? I don't know.
Exactly. And it's on a podcast where, because Grace was staying with Barstool, she was going to do her own podcast.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's on a Barstool podcast. Like, it just feels really mean. Even though like, they were somewhat nice about her, but it was like 30 minutes of her just kind of talking about like talking kind of poorly about her. Like she's obviously like I love her and I care about her, but she did this, but she did this, but she, you know what I mean? So then anyway, yesterday Grace actually said I actually quit Barstool.
Oh my god, I totally missed that.
And like okay, so now the whole narrative. I'm telling you this because I figured you'd know like half of it.
Yeah,
Um
and you were absolutely right about that.
yeah, but there is like a very weird situation with and I think for the most part it's nice, but Dave
Mhm.
Portnoy is like obsessed with Brianna in a way that he's really never been with a Barstool employee. Like even like Alex Cooper, who I have no idea, but it like seems like more like her. I think Call Her Daddy was more successful than Plan B, you know? He just, like,
Completely
has this
agree.
really special place in his heart for her, so now everyone's saying
Mhm.
he's, like, deeply in love with her because this one other Barstool guy who I had never heard
God.
of, he basically just called her a fraud for, like, liking Taylor Swift after talking shit about her for years.
No
And he was, like,
comment.
joking yeah. He was, like, joking around. Dave called him or he texted him a bunch of shit and said, "You fucking moron, like, you're a fucking idiot," called him and fired him, and then rehired him 10 minutes later.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Oh,
This guy that's
that
been employed by Barstool forever, and I think their whole policy's always been, like, say whatever you want, like, Dave's
God.
gonna talk shit, like, you're gonna talk
Yeah.
whatever. So and they're, like, close friends, so he, like, quickly apologized and rehired him, but I'm like, "Why are you so personally triggered by her?" Like, I know you have a podcast with her, and I'm sure it's just professional. I'm not obviously buying into, like, that he's in love with her thing.
Yeah,
I
I don't
just
believe
think
that
it's, like,
either.
a weird thing.
He does, like, definitely, like, move differently with her. I feel like they spend a lot of time together outside of work. And I guess I'm comparing, but I guess, like, once Alex left Barstool, like, then obviously, like, her and Dave weren't gonna be as close, and Brianna is still, like, heavily involved with Barstool, so I don't know. It's all so fucking weird, and I, like, truthfully think that, like, Brianna needs to go on a social media hiatus. Like,
I
it's
mean,
bad.
she really can't catch a break, and I'm not saying she's not responsible for that, but, like, I just can't imagine how those highs and lows
Yeah.
feel because it was very like, "Oh, everyone hates me. Oh, everyone loves me. Oh, everyone
Mhm.
hates me." Like, I
Mhm.
that's just gotta be horrible, and I'm not saying, like, she's I mean, she's a victim, but she's also,
For
like, doing
sure.
shit to, like, cause some of the response, so it's just so tough.
And it's all happening, like, so quickly. Like, it's within the span of what, the last, like, 3 months? Like, from, like, when she was saying some, like, whack ass shit on Plan Bri to everything now, like, it's only been a few months. It's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that whole
Mm,
situation is just feels like it's never ending. I wish her and Grace both the best. That's
me
obviously
too.
heartbreaking. I feel
Yeah.
like there's a time where and I'm also like I've never been invested in their lives really until now, but it just does make me sad because they were just like friends before all of the bullshit kind of.
Yeah.
Um but I could see them coming back together in a couple years and just being like, "Dude, we were idiots." At least is like what I hope.
Yeah, as we get older, yeah, I completely agree. I saw a, TikTok edit of Alex and Sophia today
Me too. I saw that.
to a Lorde song
Yup.
specifically. Yep,
Yep.
and it made me so sad, and it's actually crazy to think that, like, there are, like, girls who were not there for that moment of Call Her Daddy and, like, weren't there for that whole, like, internet breakup. I'll never forget, like, because I think we were at the beach when Alex's video was dropping. Do you remember this?
Yeah, it was a
It was
huge
it
deal.
was massive, but, like, those days of Call Her Daddy were by far, like, I have never been so addicted to a podcast other than when I found Ride last year, like, or Elena showed me Ride. Like, I have never been I was listening, like, 8 hours of the day for all of my, internship that summer, like, so obsessed, and I feel like it's not the same anymore.
Yeah, I like there was nothing like Call Her Daddy in college, and, like, I don't know. I can't explain it because I'm sure if I listen now as an adult, I'd be like, this
Yeah.
is fucking horrible and raunchy and weird. But at the
Yeah.
time, like being a girl in college and listening to that, they were so funny. And watching that edit was the first time I felt like any nostalgia towards it at
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
Because it really was like a time. You had to be there. Like say what you want about Call Her Daddy now,
Literally.
but it was fucking entertaining at the time. I miss
Als
Sophia. That bitch was
Me
funny.
too. I'm sorry, but she, like, carried, like, I feel like she is one of the reasons why it took off, like, I mean, obviously, her and Alex's banter and their chemistry was so good to begin with, but, like, Sophia's, like, crazy stories and, like, the humor that she brought, I think, is the reason why Call Her Daddy was so successful, so it's crazy that she's not a part of it anymore. blows my
I
mind.
know. I mean, I would never get over it if I were if I were
No,
her.
literally never. I actually tried to listen to Sophia with an F for, like, I think I would
Yeah.
listen to the first couple episodes, but I just unfortunately couldn't keep up with that one.
Yeah, I do think, like, Alex Cooper is fine. She's, you know, funny enough, but I think Sophia was the reason that that podcast, like, was so funny and so
Mhm.
successful. Like, her stories were the ones that were making me, like, laugh out loud. Like,
Die laughing, yeah.
Alex had a lot to say about, like, sex and
Mhm.
dating and stuff that was definitely, like, added to the show. But Sophia's were, like, out of left field, like, you weren't hearing them from, like, every bitch you go to college with. Like, she was, like, drug dealing, getting arrested, like,
The one time
from
she accidentally did
Utah, like
heroin, like, it
yeah,
was
like, she was
insane.
great. So,
Oh,
I you
dear
know,
God.
God bless her. I hope she can have forgiveness for that because I never would. I think it was
If
her own fault, but
100%. I there is a world where I wish, like, Alex would have her on one day, 'cause I mean, I would tune
oh
in.
my
It would
god.
be so iconic. Oh my god, it would be amazing.
If Sophia went on Call Her Daddy, I think the internet would actually break, and I hate to use that sentence.
No, but literally, it's so true.
Oh, that
Oh
would be
my
so
god.
beautiful. That would
That
make me
episode
feel
would
like
do
I was in college
numbers.
again. Well, we should definitely move on now because I just realized I was talking for way too long. Do you wanna start with an advice?
Yes, I absolutely would love to. God, sorry. It's been a long day. Hi, ladies. First, I just want to say that I love the pod so much, and it's genuinely one of the best parts of my week. I'm writing in with a little bit of a relationship dilemma. This might be long. I'm sorry. For context, I've been consistently seeing this guy. Let's call him Steve. He's 22 and I'm 23. We've been seeing each other for over 3 months now. It's been fun and everything has been going pretty smoothly except for a few things. Basically, his best friend is a woman, which he let me know pretty early on. When he first mentioned it, he said he discloses that because in the past, girls he's seen weren't comfortable with him having a girl best friend, but also told me that once they meet her, let's call her Lisa, they see that it's completely platonic. So it's never really bothered me, and I've tried not to dwell on it too much. He doesn't talk about her a ton, and she lives an hour away, so they don't see each other very often. When they do, it's usually in a group setting. Around a month ago, I met her at an Oktoberfest kind of thing. She was gracious enough to let me, him, and my best friend stay with her for a night since we would all be drinking. We met up with a lot of their other old high school friends and had a fun time. Both my best friend and myself noticed that Lisa didn't make much of an effort to talk to me, which I brushed off as her maybe being introverted. It did feel awkward and a little like I was third wheeling at times, but I never felt like they were being flirtatious. Fast forward to a few weeks later, Steve asked what I thought about Lisa and wanted to make sure it was all good. I said I didn't get to talk to her to really form an opinion, but didn't really feel like they were romantic. He said that that was good and then decided to tell me that a couple years ago they were hanging out and she told him, you know, if you wanted to have sex with me, you just have to apply a little pressure. I'm sorry, what the fuck? He said that after she said that, they went to go watch a movie and he put his arm around her to initiate something, but said to him it felt so weird and awkward that he eventually removed it and they just watched the movie and didn't discuss it. He told me he thinks I should know this happened because if something were to ever happen, it would have then. Am I wrong for feeling like that's not something a normal friendship can continue on from? Now knowing that, I can't help but feel like she might have had feelings at one point because what woman would risk throwing away a perfectly good friendship like that? Maybe she's different from me, I don't know, but it definitely changes how I viewed her excluding me when we met. I guess I appreciate him telling me this happened, but it didn't feel productive and instead has made me wary about their friendship. I trust him, but don't ever want to be the one in the way of his best friend because that never seems to end up well. All of my friends who I've told the story to have said it's definitely weird and they wouldn't be able to handle it, which makes me more anxious. Do I just ignore this? And yesterday, he told me they have a marriage pact together. He wants her to go to med school and said that if she does, he'll marry her because he wants the spouse benefits of a doctor. Is this man actually an idiot or does he genuinely not see how that's a crazy thing to me? One last thing. I've always told him at 3 months we need to decide if we're exclusive, boyfriend/girlfriend. 3 months just passed and I brought it up, to which he said he assumed we had been exclusive for a while, but wants to keep dating to see if he's ready for a label of boyfriend and girlfriend. His last relationship was toxic and they labeled it too fast, me as well, so I understand. But at the same time, I feel like he should know if he's ready to commit by now. Do I give him more time and wait a few weeks? Last thing I want to do is rush him, but it sounds like he doesn't want to commit to me. But he keeps making plans for the future, which is nice and reassuring. Sorry, this was a lot, but I would really appreciate y'all's 2 cents. Thanks for reading this far.
Oh, we've had a lot of, like, and I saw this in the Facebook group too, like, kind of gender friendship stories
Ugh,
recently,
yeah.
and I feel like I saw someone's comment I really appreciated because they were like, "I've gone back to old episodes and their advice is totally different," which I think is 100% true, and yeah, I think we've probably changed a ton over the past few years of how we like view things and what
Yeah.
advice we give. So you guys have just
Mhm.
you've been along on that journey for sure. Um, I think with this specific situation, I don't think the girl really did anything wrong. It seems like she might have had feelings for him or slash has feelings for him, but she didn't like overstep in any way. And I think like, yeah, it might be the reason that she didn't, like, go the extra mile to get to know you, but I also
Mhm.
think, like, that's okay. I think it's weird. The only thing with the guy, he should have told her that before, but again, like, nothing happened necessarily, but so, like, it's up to you if you wanna kinda report that back. Like, I do think guys can have friends who are girls, girls can have friends who are guys, but I think if there's
Mhm.
any history, you just need to disclose it. That's the only way I feel about it.
Yeah,
But
and then
like
make your decision based on however you
yeah.
feel, how strongly you feel
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
And so I don't like I mean, I guess it's good he told her that, but it's almost like he should have told her because he told her after, you said, right?
Like, about how they almost slept together, basically?
He told her after they met, right?
Yeah.
After she
Mhm.
met the girl. Okay. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is that he shouldn't have told her about the marriage pact.
I think that is extremely bizarre. Like, I don't I mean, I understand, like, wanting to, like, disclose all the information. So, like, maybe just saying that, like, "Oh, we've made a joke about how we have a marriage pact," but then he continues to elaborate and say, like, "Yeah, like, if she goes to med school, then I'm gonna get, like, all, like, the spouse benefits." Uh,
Yeah.
in what world does that
That
make
would piss
sense
me
to tell
off
your
just
girlfriend or
yeah.
someone you're seeing?
Also, like, marriage pacts are a joke mostly always. Like, I feel like I used to have a marriage pact with Thomas or something that we would just, like, get married and never, like, touch each other.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I just feel like it's not, like, serious enough information to, like, disclose.
Yeah, it seems like he was, like, trying to add an extra jab in there a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I do feel like there's nothing really to be done right now because like she said, like, he's making future plans, which is great. I understand the 3-month mark, which I feel like, talk a lot about on here, like, 3 months wanting to, like, kinda
Yeah,
label things, and, I mean, they're exclusive, which is great. I don't see, like, you might as well just take the extra
I
step
know.
and
Exclusive,
start.
like, is dating, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I do feel like this girl will get to know the girl bestie, like, better as time goes on. Like, it was only her first time meeting her. Like, I'm sure, like, maybe she's, like, a little, like, defensive and protective of her best friend, and, like, the guy or
Yeah.
the girl that he's seeing. So, I feel like everything is relatively fine. I do think that he might have been word vomiting a little bit, but otherwise, it's okay.
Yeah, I think in this situation I wouldn't worry too much about the girl and the comments, like, if they had dated in the past or had sex in the past, I'd be, like, maybe more concerned about him, like, bringing up the marriage pact, but clearly, like, something almost happened and then it didn't, which is a good
Mhm.
thing. So I
Yeah.
think probably worry less about her and more about just, like, him and your relationship and if he is ready to commit or not, because I think like, we say the 3-month thing obviously as, like, a general time frame of, like, I personally feel like you should know if you wanna be with be with just that person. But if you're
Yeah.
exclusive and you're, like, making strides towards that and having the conversations, I think that can be different. Like, if you're just, like, coasting along and it's been, like, 5 months and, like, no you have no idea where you stand, I think that's way more of an issue, but this is more so,
Mhm.
like, okay, you're getting there, and if it just continues with, like, being exclusive, I feel like it will come to a point where you're like, "Hey, what's the point?" So I think just
Right.
focus more on that. But yeah, I don't think anything's like super wrong to where you can't move forward.
I also think that her first time meeting her, she would have sensed something, you know what I mean? Like, I we always talk about it, like, women's intuition is, like, such a powerful thing, like, to always
Mhm.
trust your gut, and she said that she didn't get any flirtatious vibes. So I think that that's
Yeah.
a huge sign because if she was trying to, like, assert her dominance, like, she would've let you know, I'm
Yeah, I
sure.
think so too. And she, like, let you stay at her place and stuff, which I don't think she would do if she was, f like, into him, I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, she's like, "He can sleep in my bed, you guys can have the couch."
I know. Yeah, so I think it's okay for now, but I would,
Yeah.
would love to hear back. I also before I read this is just a pet sitting story I thought was funny, but, the girl who we talked about last week who was, like, really struggling with like how she felt after cheating or emotionally cheating.
Mhm.
She wrote something really, really kind back to us and just said that she's like hearing us talk is like finally the first step to forgiving herself and like moving forward. And it really, really made me like so happy. So to her, I just want to say, we love you. And I'm so glad that you were able to hear that from someone.
I'm glad that she heard because sometimes I get worried that some people might miss, like, an episode where we do eventually tell their story or give them advice, so I'm glad that she wrote in, I'm glad that
I
we read
know.
it.
Me too.
That's good.
Okay. Hello, gorgeous girls. Thank you so much for the gift of this pod every week. With the holidays being a busy time for house and pet sitting, I thought I'd share a trio of my pet sitting nightmares that are always a hit. I'm usually an advocate for the importance of details, but we'll try to keep this short. First was January of 2020. I was watching a woman's four cats who were from a litter of strays, therefore are very shy and looked similar, gray and white. I saw them briefly when I got the instructions and knew their names, but when I started taking care of them, I didn't expect to see them at all. The first day, I put food in the bowls, grab a can of food for the outdoor cats, put it outside, go back in, and turn around and see a gray and white cat on the patio. I'm freaking out and do not understand how one could have gotten out without me seeing. I spend days trying to lure the cat inside by microwaving cat food and milk and perching myself near the door where I could see but wouldn't scare it. Terrified that I lost one of this lonely woman's cats, after a few days, I decided to count the rest of the cats and make sure I have the rest and realized there are four cats in the house. I text the woman and asked for pics of the cats with the names so I know who is who. I couldn't give a fuck. I just needed the pics. I then realized all of her cats have been in the house the entire time, and I was trying to lure a completely random cat into her house for days. Okay, so that's number one. This one's insane. Okay. Next, about 6 months later, a neighbor asked if I dog sat. I didn't know her, but she only lived four houses down, and I said, of course. I'd never seen or met her husband. This is important later.
Oh
I watched
god.
the dogs for the first time, and she asked that I sleep in the house with them so they didn't get into trouble, and they slept in bed with me. Later, she asked me to watch them again because they had to spend the night about an hour and a half away. I go there, go to sleep with the dogs, and wake up at 3 a.m., and the dogs aren't in the bed. I assume they're getting into trouble, so I go downstairs to check on them in my sports bra and boxers as it is July and there's no AC. And around the corner into the foyer comes a man. I gasp the loudest gasp I ever have, my heart beating out of my chest as I've never met the man. He apologizes profusely, says he's Susan's husband. He didn't want to scare me, but couldn't sleep without his snoring machine. Says he's heard wonderful things about me from his wife. I am in shock. The only way I could tell he wasn't an intruder was because the dogs clearly knew him. Eventually, he says, well, I'm not going to kick you out, but I am going to bed. And I sprinted up the street to my house. Sorry, guys, my camera died, but now we're back and I'm just going to continue the story like nothing happened. The woman texted me the next day and said she was sorry if he scared me, but she said she didn't want to text me and wake me up. Like, are you kidding? A text would would not wake me up, and it would give me peace of mind when a grown man enters a house that a 20-year-old girl is sleeping in alone. Okay, so that's the second one. Um, Lastly, last winter, I accepted a rover job for a little rat Shih Tzu. I was in a new city, and when I took the job, I forgot I wouldn't have my car at the time of the rover, so I had to Uber each way, which was really annoying, but my fault, so I wasn't going to cancel. The first time I walked the dog, I watched her poop, then turn around and eat it. I was confused and grossed out. Then I realized when I walked her like that she would be mid poop and turn around desperately trying to eat the poop as it comes out, but not every time. Like she knew which ones were better. Foul. Then we get home and she'd hump her squishmallows over all a foul creature, and I probably didn't even break even after all the Ubers. So
Oh my god. Oh,
sorry, I
that's
read that
so
last
good.
one horribly, but like y'all know what I meant. But I will say my dog does that, which is disgusting.
I had no idea. I'm gonna kinda look at him differently now because of that.
No, Farley does that. It's so I don't let him go anywhere near my face, like, with his mouth.
That's, like, God, really good to know because I'd let that man, like, lick me when I get there
I mean, we try to
to your
avoid it.
mom's.
Like, obviously, we try to stop him,
Yeah.
but and he doesn't do it all the time, kind of like this dog, like, he picks and chooses his moments. Like, sorry, this is, like, actually disgusting to talk about, but I think dogs do that a lot.
No, it definitely is common. I wanna go back to the second story. First of all,
Me too, me too.
I didn't realize it was, like, all the same girl. I thought we just happened to get in, like, back to back, like, terrible pet sitting stories.
Mhm.
So sorry, her run-in with the man happened at 3 AM?
Yes, and then he was like, "I'm
I
going to."
would have shit myself.
No, that's so scary, and, like, then it's just so awkward because he was like, "Alright, well, I'm going to bed in the bed that she's sleeping in."
That's what I was gonna say.
So
W in the same bed?
I think he was trying to, like, probably nicely be like, "You can go."
What was he gonna do, wake her up while she was
I
in
maybe
bed?
maybe he was, like, planning on sleeping on the couch or something, I have no fucking clue.
That is genuinely I, like, can't even that is so strange. So why was she even house sitting or dog sitting?
Well, he was gonna spend the night, but then sorry, you guys, we read this a while ago, so I have to kind of, like, rebrief Emily on it, but he didn't have his CPAP, like, his machine, so I guess he, in the middle of the night, was like, "I'm going home, like, I can't sleep." But, like, you always have to send a text in that situation, it doesn't matter if you think you're gonna wake someone up, like, you always have to
I
text
mean,
and be
that's
like,
the
I'm letting," or at least, like, the wife should have come with him, so
I
she
mean,
was
that's
there.
the first thing I'm gonna do is, like, if I was house sitting and, like, an intruder or, like, something was weird, like, the first thing I'm doing is grabbing my phone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she would
Yeah.
have saw the text and been like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
"No,
No,
sorry,
it's
I don't wanna wake you up with a text, but my husband's gonna wake you up at 3 AM who you've never met before."
yeah, no, it's really, I mean, that would scar me for life.
I would
S
literally oh my god, that would terrify me.
I do love the pet sitting stories though, because Emily's in her pet sitting era, obviously. I also thought the first one was funny, I don't even know if you remember it at this point, but where, like, she fully thought she let out a cat, but it was just
Oh,
another
yeah.
cat, which
And
I
spent
love.
days well, she probably, like that's probably all she was thinking about because it went on for so long, like, she knowing me, like, I wouldn't be sleeping, it's all I would be thinking about, I would never wanna leave the house until I could get the cat in. You know what I mean?
I would be freaking the fuck out. Oh my God, I don't even know if I talked about it, but I had, like, my holiday party here with all my friends, I won't get into it.
Mhm.
But Cheddar, I couldn't find Cheddar for a while, and I started, like, freaking out because he's pretty social, like, anyway, he was upstairs in a closet in the bottom of a basket that he's never been in before.
Oh
So
my
then I'm
god.
like, "Okay," and then later on, my friend did let him out, and I was, like, so scared, and it wasn't anyone's fault, like, we were trying to, like, move cars and stuff, and if you're not used to having a cat, like, you leave the door open.
Leave the door open, yeah.
But yeah, he was just in the backyard, and my friends were like, "Is that fine? Like, is it fine if he's out here?" I was like, "No. Like, why do you think I have a
No.
full catio
I
built?"
love I I love when that happens, like, growing up, obviously, with animals and cats that have tried that all my cats, they were always trying to escape, they were never
Emily's
outdoor cats growing up.
Emily's door was so like, her garage and her cat's Cheddar's not really like the door was just open for a long amount of time to where he was like, "I guess I'll head out."
He's
Like,
like,
he's not
"Sure."
really like a bolter, like, he's not
Yeah.
trying to get out when you're usually going in and out, but Emily's cat's like I never grew up with cats, but if you would open the door, like, they would sprint out, and I would feel so fucking horrible because then her mom would spend the next, like, couple of hours trying to get the cat back in.
It was, like, to a point where, like, sometimes I would have which was rare, like, people over that, like, didn't really, like, know me or my family that well, and I love when people do this, like, a cat gets out and they're like, "Oh, is that okay? Like, the
Yeah,
cat's out,
yeah.
is that fine?" Like,
No, I
"No.
know.
Have you seen him out before?"
That's exactly my friend was like, "Oh, Cheddar's out there, is that fine?" "No."
I love that shit so much. I
Literally,
guess
no.
I guess, like, I've gotten pretty lucky with my rover experiences, but I do think, like 'cause I do a lot of dog walking for this
Mhm.
one specific dog, and he's just like a black lab, like, he's very sweet, um, and, like, they're usually, like, a very nice breed, like, they interact well with
Yeah, labs
people
are
and other
super
pets and
sweet.
stuff, but I've walked this dog multiple times, I've never met the owner, so I, like, never had a chance to, like, talk to him and ask about the dog and, like, how he does. So, like, when we're, like, walking and I, like, see another dog, I'm like, I'm just gonna assume he's gonna be
Assume, react
friendly.
it.
And it's so
Yeah,
funny
well,
because people will be like, "Oh, my dogs are friendly, don't worry." And I'm like, "So is
mine
mine.
yeah,
No
my
idea."
I hope mine is.
Yeah. Guess we'll find out. So,
I
yeah.
also we my family's got another lab.
What?
We don't have it yet, but they surprised
Oh.
the kids for Christmas with a
Oh, that's
chocolate
so
lab puppy.
exciting. That's so
Yeah, but
exciting.
I
I
won't even meet it when I'm home. We don't get it for, like, 8 weeks.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sure I won't
That's
see
such a
it till it's,
bummer.
like, a grown-ass
A
dog.
grown dog, you don't even get to
Yeah,
enjoy the puppy stage. Yeah.
no, but anyway, you guys,
Damn.
I love you. Sorry that we talked so much and didn't do as many stories, but we are gonna have
Mhm.
a Patreon episode come out this week too with it'll be all stories, no chatter if that's more your thing, if you wanna head
We
there.
promise. We'll keep the
So,
yapping to a minimum,
yes,
so
promise, but love you guys so
Mhm.
much. Thank you so much for listening
Bye,
and
guys.
keep
Love
sending us
y'all.
your stories. Love y'all. Bye.